I've got a fun video for you guys today. So, I know a lot of people are, especially the people who watch my channel, want to know if Mexico is the place for them, the place that they can call home. But sometimes you don't want to commit to a lease, renting a place for 6 months or even a year, let alone buying a place if you don't even know if Mexico is a place for you. So, I want to share with you another way to find a place here in Mexico and test out the waters and see if this is a place that you can call home. And I'm going to do that by introducing you to a couple of my friends that started this journey for me. We're here in Plaza Mexiamora, and these are the two ladies that invited me to come to Guanajuato in 2017. Never even knew Guanajuato was on the map, and they introduced me to house sitting. That's right, they were house sitting a home here in Guanajuato. And well, how long was it for?
It was a 5-month long house sit that actually, it was 2017, and it turned into being a house sit for 6 months every year since then, except for 2020 because the homeowner couldn't get out of the country in lockdown.
So I stayed with them for a couple of weeks, thinking that it was only going to be a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe at the most 2 months. But I loved it so much, and I knew Guanajuato was a place that I could really spend some time in. So I came here to Centro and finally rented a place, but not after I had already spent some time here. So I want to introduce you to Jody and Nat. We just got our meat from the butcher, so I'm carrying that. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, please, I hope you turned your head. But I just want them to briefly talk about their experience with house sitting, and how it's benefited their life, and why they decided Mexico, Guanajuato in particular, was the place where they decided to finally rent. You guys want to go?
Are you asking us a question or?
Looks like you're editing that.
Yeah, no editing whatsoever. No, it's just like, so, like, how did you get started in house sitting? Why is house sitting, why is house sitting, a good way to see if Guanajuato or Mexico is a good way to test the waters?
All right, I'll answer the first question about how we ended up here in Guanajuato and why we kept coming back. And Nat can talk about house sitting on a whole, because we did it for so long, full time. So basically, Guanajuato, 2017, we see the listing, the advertisement that was actually saying, come and look after 2 dogs in the Mexican Sierras. And we wrote to the homeowner, a German couple, and they wrote back saying, oh, here's a little video that's showing a little bit about Guanajuato, and we call it the European city in the Mexican Sierras. And we're like, sold. We're coming. So we said yes to it, came. Of course, we invited you down. But over the years, you actually came and did part of the house sit the following year, because we got it to another couple with...
I'm going to get out of the frame because I want to just show them.
Okay, so Angelo came to help out the following year's house sitters by actually starting the sit, because he was already familiar with the place, so that was really good. Then the year after, other friends of ours took it on. The year after that was the 2020 lockdown, and Susie couldn't get away, so she was there. 2021, she offered us a place to stay, which is right underneath the Monumento al Pipola. She's got a little 1-bedroom flat there with the most spectacular view. It's literally the best view of the whole city. She said, if you guys want to stay there for a couple of months, if you're in between your house sits traveling around, that would be lovely. And it's like, we know she's up to something. She's going to ask us to house sit again in 2021. And she did. But this time we had 4 dogs up there, which was interesting.
That's pretty fun.
So then 2022, 2023, you were there in 2023 doing the house sit again then. So every year we've known the people that are doing this particular long house sit because we've been around for so long. But something about Guanajuato just kept bringing us back. And we've actually now been renting here for almost 2 years full time, and only doing part-time house sitting in other places in Mexico, but we also still do international house sitting. We've been to Italy and Australia and Malta, and yeah, so it's not just about Mexico anymore for us.
No, but we started house sitting way back in 2013.
Yes.
Is that right? Yep. So we had moved to Dubai and we lost everything that we owned, and we had the choice. It was either go back to Australia and probably live with Jodie's mum and dad, or try house sitting. And we'd done a little bit of house sitting in Australia, funnily enough, but never really thought about it for international travel. So it came across our radar again, and we went, screw it, let's just go and do some house sitting. So we did, and we ended up, our third house sit was a really long house sit in France. And we're sitting there, and it's a multi-million-dollar property that they've just finished renovating. It took 5 years. And it's, you can just imagine, it's surrounded by vineyards, there's an infinity pool, 25-meter infinity pool, this magical place. And we're sitting there literally with no money and just went, wow, what if we just kept doing this? And we did.
So in 2014, we started reaching out to other house sitters, and then sort of the community as such, or the awareness around international house sitting, started growing. And we realized that it was such a great way for people to experience different parts of the world, to see if it was a place that they might want to, you know, retire to one day or go and check out. Because so many people were just like, you know, packing up and going to the next country and going, oh, I'm just going to live here, I'm going to buy up and live here, and then they don't really love it. You know, they don't really want to be there. Then they're on the move again. And actually, good friends of ours did that. They moved to Belize, and then they realized that that wasn't where they wanted to be. They're now in Mexico, funnily enough. But this was after they thought that Egypt was going to be the place that they were going to have their, you know, retirement days in. But yeah, it's the most amazing experience to go and like test the waters on an area. So if you're looking at all of Mexico in particular, we have literally not just house sat from, you know, the Caribbean to the Pacific. We've driven from the Caribbean to the Pacific, and yeah, of all the places that we've been, we just keep coming back here.
And I want to actually do a side note here, side story is they drove through Mexico, 2 women, blonde, Australian women, same-sex couple, driving through Mexico. For those of you who are wondering if Mexico is safe, want to talk a little bit about that?
It's dead set. The only thing
Yep.
that you need to be aware of is if somebody says to you, don't drive at night, it's got nothing to do with crime or this and that. It's got to do with speed humps. Okay, speed humps is what will take you out or take your car out if
Oh,
you drive
yeah.
at night, because
There
you
are
can't
no
see them.
signs. Yeah.
Can't see them. Yep, they're
Yeah.
just the same, blend in.
Yeah, but we obviously we wouldn't drive at night, and we had
And there was different roads we wouldn't drive. People said, oh, don't go down that road. And we went, okay, we won't. So, yeah, we just stuck to the main roads all the way through. It was great. Had an amazing time.
And what I also found, because I did most of the driving, is just how courteous a lot of the drivers are. There's this rule on single lane roads that you pull over, you know, into the sort of the side part, and people are allowed to go past. So they're a lot more courteous than what we'd ever find in Australia, that's for sure.
Love it. And by the way, you have to appreciate the sounds of Guanajuato. In this case, it's this little kid. I have to show you before we continue. This little kid with his little paintball or whatever it is, this little toy gun. First of all, a little kid with a toy gun in public, not something you will find in the United States. But here, it's nothing because children are allowed to play. And I mean, these are the little things that I love to show. But yes, it's safe to drive. It's safe to you feel safe in Mexico, safe enough to want to call it home, at least for now.
Yep.
And you know, with house sitting, I didn't even think of this until just recently, talking to them about like how it all started, and it was really about like, oh yeah, they can try house sitting too. They can see if, and you can try house sitting all over Mexico. If Mexico is the place where you want to call home,
Yeah.
you can test out the different, look, if you want to house sit in San Miguel de Allende just to see, or Ajijic, if you want to be around a lot of other expats, awesome, try it out. Guanajuato, I don't know if there's a lot, but I'm sure you can find some. But this video, I didn't want this video to be completely just, you know, about house sitting, but if they actually have And here's my plug. You know how I love plugs. No, they actually have. So when I introduce these two ladies here in public or when we're out and we talk about house sitting, they literally wrote the handbook on house sitting. There was not a handbook or like a course or anything like that on how to do it, because there is a way to do it. There is a right way and a wrong way, and they absolutely have nailed the right way. And I just want to do a plug for you guys in case people. I get nothing from this except for
Lots of hugs.
lots of hugs
Pat on the back.
and a
Thanks,
pat on the
champ.
back, and they like me better. You know, they maybe watch my dogs from time to time.
Oh yeah, there's that.
And they have done that. But what is your website for house sitting? Do you still have one?
Yeah,
You have one?
internationalhousesitting.com literally drives straight to the House Sitting Academy. We used to give our book away for free, but you can still find the first version of it on Amazon. But we've changed it over now because the House Sitting Academy is 10 years old. There's a legacy pricing on it. It's super cheap, and the book is now part of the entire course. We look a little bit younger because it was recorded 10 years ago, but the information's timeless.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for filming this video with me, so impromptu. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is house sitting something that you want to give a try? I mean, especially if you're considering moving to Mexico and you're not quite committed to you know, making that purchase or committing to a lease. And while you're house sitting, another great part about that is you can figure out all of the residency stuff and all the research that you need to do while you're house sitting and living, you know, for free.
Yeah, living like a local.
Living
That's
like
the
a
good thing
that's
about
the-
house sitting is you're
that's
not
the thing.
sitting in a hotel looking out the window. You're actually got pets and you take them for dog parks, or you're walking with neighbors. And yeah, I think that's the amazing thing about house sitting is it's such a local experience and it's free accommodation.
And you know, Jim and Jocelyn, our friends who live here, they own the most stunning house. They got such a good deal on it, by the way. But they're off house sitting in Mexico City at the moment. Just take your weekend away. Just go and have
Nice
Mexico
way
City
to
time.
see the
time out.
country, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Amazing.
Yeah, so it totally fits. Anyway, hope you like this video. I hope you enjoy these two ladies. They've been in my previous videos, and I'm sure this isn't going to be the last, because this is part of the community. We're part of this growing community here in Guanajuato, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.